Hey there friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I've got another book review for you guys, and this time it is of Courting Darkness by Robyn LaFevers. This book is the fourth in a series that we all thought was going to be a three-part series, a trilogy. And I got an email from Goodreads being like, books that you've read, books in a series that you've read that are coming out this month, and this was on there, and I think I almost had a heart attack. The His Fair Assassin series by Robyn LaFevers is one of my all-time favourites, and she had some reason decided to bring out a next one, and this is it. So I've got a book review for you guys today. I also just want to apologise if the lighting keeps going now. The weather is glorious today. So I'm kind of having to like have my blind shut but open a bit and the other one really open so that I can get the right light in without me being like, because this big strip of light here was originally on my face, which wouldn't have been too helpful. In the end, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. As I said, so this is the fourth book in the His Fair Assassins series by Robyn LaFevers, which is one of my all-time favourites. If you've been around my channel, I've been watching my book reviews for a while, then you will have heard me talk about this series before. It's set in I think it's the 1400s. It's set in 1489, so I don't know if that's the 1300s or the 1400s. Well, it's the 14th century or something like that, in France and in Brittany, and this is kind of historical fantasy. I don't want to give too much away if you've not read the first two books, so I'd highly recommend it. And in this world, gods and goddesses are real. What they call the old gods are kind of competing with the new church, but those people are real, and those gods are real, and the god of death, Saint Martin, is real, and he sires daughters who are raised at a convent where they are trained to be his assassins, and are basically these badass girls who often have been through really traumatic experiences. They're his daughters, and they're trained to fight and to spy and to kick ass, and it's amazing. And each of the first 3 books was about a different one. So it's basically growing up those 3 best friends, and each one of the first 3 books was about one of them. And this book kind of pretty much picks up where the 4th book takes off. This book picks up where the 3rd book left off, and we follow one of the. This is for the first time in this series. It is split into 2 perspectives. So we go from the perspective of one of the characters that we already know called Sabella, and a character that we don't know who is another of the initiates at the convent, or another of the daughters of Saint Martin, who is called Genevieve. And it's split perspective, so the chapters keep switching between the 2 of them, and I say this carries on pretty much straight away from where the last book ended, following the story of the Duchess of Brittany, and Sabella goes with her to her new home, and it's all kind of, this series is very much about court intrigue and politics and spying and rivalries and people kind of fighting for power and jostling for power, and how the daughters of Saint Martin are kind of involved in that, and are basically there always saving the day and being really badass. And Sabella wasn't actually my favourite of the 3. She was my least favourite of the 3. I loved all 3. There was Ismay, Sabella and Anna, who were the 3 daughters of Saint Martin, who the first 3 books kind of followed. But in this, she really rocks it. Robyn LaFevers, her storytelling is amazing, and the way that she writes historical fantasy feels so real, but is not archaic in any way. It's not boring at all. It's so exciting. This book is just so gripping, and it was also really nice to read from the perspective of a new character who is Genevieve, who has grown up in a completely different world than the other characters that we know from the first 3 books. She has grown up in the French court rather than in Brittany, and is kind of waiting, and there was twists and turns in this book, but a lot of stuff which, in a way, if you've read the first 3 books, if you love this world, then you kind of saw coming, but it was in a really great way. Reading this book just felt like hanging out with an old friend again. It was so nice to pick this series back up. Literally, when I got the email from Goodreads, so they basically sent an email being like, these are our books are similar to our own series that you have previously read, that are coming out this month. And as soon as I got that email, I pre-ordered this on Amazon, so it literally arrived to me at work the day that it came out. and I got straight into it. And I just love the cover and all this world so flipping much, and it ended on such a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so sad because I'm probably going to have to wait like a year for the next one to come out. And there was a massive gap between this book and the third book because we all thought it was going to be a trilogy. We all thought it ended there, and it didn't. It was amazing. And oh my word, this series has just like got a special place in my heart, and it's so good, and the characters are so complex. You know, they're not painted as these like amazing heroines. They're so complex and so unique and so flawed and human. It's kind of, that's kind of really refreshing, because, and they are very, especially Sabella, and Genevieve, really, they are very aware of their own weakness, very aware of where they come up short, and that's kind of really refreshing as a human to see these characters know that they are human, rather than in other books where you're like, oh, they just think they're gods, because they really don't. And it's like, oh, it's honestly, I cannot recommend this series enough. If you've not read, I've read historical fantasy, but you're really into fantasy, I would highly recommend this series. It's such a great starting point. It's like the most amazing meeting of fantasy and history and magic and badass women, but it's not, the writing, the way it's written, and the dialogue isn't like hard to read or hard to follow. It's really fast paced, it's really easy to read, it really sucks you in. It's just so good. So as you can tell, I flipping enjoyed this book. I absolutely loved it. So I would highly, highly recommend picking up Courting Darkness. And if you've not read any of the His Fire Assassin series, I would highly recommend this series. Hi everyone, so this is a bit different. I'm just editing this book review, and I realised that there's a portion of the footage missing at the end. I think, pardon me, that the camera must have cut out or something, because I've checked and I've not got any more video files from this. So I think the camera just cut out when I was finishing. But as you might have been able to tell from the book review, I absolutely loved Courting Darkness by Robyn LaFevers. It was so good. I'd highly recommend the His Fire Assassin series. Thank you so much for watching this book review. I post videos at least once, if not twice a week. Many of those are book reviews, so please subscribe to my channel if you did enjoy this, because there's lots of new stuff coming from me. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I shall see you guys soon. Bye.